Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the very best show on cable TV, News You Can Use. I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling. Now, I was joking about that first part. We're one of the good shows that you can see on cable TV. I'm your host and glad to be with you on this edition of News You Can Use. Today on the program, we are shining the spotlight on a very, very special group that has something to share with us about entertainment and a wonderful play that makes you think. A play that makes you think that's coming up very soon here in Philadelphia. In fact, the date for the play is October the 25th. So Lisa Hopkins, she will join me in the first segment on our program to talk about this wonderful, marvelous play. And then in the second segment, we're going to have two of the youth actors who are part of the play. And one of them, my understanding is the star of the play. So we're going to have a great conversation on this edition of News You Can Use. We want you to stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment. We are just coming back for this part of our show, and if you just joined us, let me tell you, we've got a very special program today on this edition of News You Can Use. I am your host, Thera Martin Milling, and I'm glad to be back with you at Comcast Channel 56 and Verizon Fios Channel 36. Right now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to some and to present to others a wonderful lady who is a community activist, homegrown Germantown lady. Her name is Lisa Hopkins. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Thera, for having me on the show.
Yes. I appreciate you so very much. We had a wonderful train ride about a week and a half ago, and we got to talking, and I think for any observer who may have seen us talking, they probably said, those two ladies, they know each other. They've known each other a long time. And we didn't really, but we knew of each other. Right. And as I said to you while we were preparing to tape this show today, I've heard nothing but good things about Lisa Hopkins over the years that I've lived in Germantown. Now, I've been in the Germantown section for now 21 years on the block where I live, and you're telling me you've been in Germantown for since you were 5 years old?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I was born in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
And my mother attended Bennett College for Girls, and my dad was a Aggie student. So actually, I was called the campus baby on Bennett, and I graduated with my mother carrying me in her hands when she went to her commencement.
Oh, how special.
Yes.
That's very, very special. So all these years later, you're in Philadelphia. You've lived in Philadelphia for
45
years up here in the Germantown section.
Yes.
So you are a part of the very fabric of this community. Now, you know, when I thought about having you as a guest, and this is a miracle that we have you today, I'm so blessed to have you. There's so many things that I know about Lisa Hopkins doing good community activism work in Germantown, fighting for the people, speaking up on behalf of people who might not know how to speak up for themselves, going to community meetings, organizing community meetings. That's the Lisa Hopkins I know of. I didn't know of this performing arts Lisa Hopkins until we had our famous train ride a week and a half ago. And that just opened up a whole nother can of opportunity in my head to chat with you and or some of the actors that you work with. So real quick, tell me about your organization where you are the creative director of performing arts.
I formed the Kama Sailor group, and Kama Sailor actually means God's blessings, out of Liberia, West Africa, where my mother was born. And I saw an opportunity to offer children at risk or children that are of poverty opportunities to develop their talents in acting, dance, visual arts, and music. So we have after-school programming. We started at Roosevelt Middle School, and now we're at John B. Kelly. But we've trained close to over 60 children in African folklores, historical play productions, and then adaptations that I've written from the classes of Wizard of Oz. We have a show called Wiz in the Hood. And then we did the Cinderella hip-hop version. It was called Spinderella this past summer during our summer camp.
That sounds
So
pretty cool.
we've had some exciting times with the children because we're giving them the opportunity to shine on stage where they necessarily cannot afford that type of training. So we make it affordable, we make it fun, and we definitely allow them to be aware of their culture, especially their African
Now,
culture.
name your organization again.
The Kama Sailor Group, K-A-M-A hyphen capital S-A-H-L-O-R.
The Common Sailor Group.
Yes,
All right. And it means again?
God's blessings.
God's blessings. That's what I like. That's what I like. So, on October the 25th, there's going to be this fabulous play called Legacy.
Yes.
Give us a little teaser, and don't tell everything because we want people to buy tickets, come out, support
Okay.
your young people. But give us a
Okay.
little teaser.
The
to whet our appetite.
Childhood Lost Entertainment Group are friends of mine, and they needed help with casting. So Karen Smith is actually the playwright. She approached me. She said, you know, your son, Jaron Hopkins, which you'll meet in a few minutes, will make an excellent young Malcolm X. So I said, oh, really? So I asked my son, did he want to, take the part? So he said, absolutely. So we casted about 5 boys who will portray Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, and Frederick Douglass. But the play is centered around a teenage boy named Corey Shepard who doesn't have any direction, no foundation. So he just finished having an argument with his mother, and his mother wants him to pursue, finishing his high school education and go to college. But no, he wants to live the fast thug life. He thinks he's going to make it in Hollywood, but he has visited and also experiences a reawakening by these 4 leaders who come to him in a dream as boys. And they, even though they appear as boys, they have a message that you have to grow up, you have to have a vision, you have to plan your life. So they changed his whole mentality. So it's a wonderful play
Sounds
production.
like a wonderful play indeed. And this is open to the general public?
Oh, yes. Tickets are available, and it will be at the African American History Museum, 7th and Arch Street, Sunday, October 25th for 2 shows, 2 p.m. and 5 p.m.
Wow, wow. So you're already out there. Information is out there. I guess you all have posters and flyers and what have you out in the community a little bit.
They can also go on the website for more information. For ticket sales, it's through Eventbrite, but it's through the childhoodlostentertainmentgroup.com.
Okay, say that again.
childhoodlostentertainment.group.com.
entgroup.com.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And for those who might not have internet accessibility, is there a phone number that
They
people
can call a phone number. Khalik Hayes is one of the producers, and it's 484-300-5468.
So then all of the people who are in this play, Legacy, are they all youth?
They're all youth, and then there's one adult that's probably 22, 23, Lee Anthony Campbell.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So this is really the young people. And if people choose to come out and support this play, you're supporting our young people. And it's so important that we do that. We want to encourage them. We want them to know that the world is at their feet, and anything that they can dream of or conceive of, they can be it. So we do have young people who can become professional actors and actresses. And we need everybody to come out, support the play, buy the tickets, and let our young people know that you're there. Make some noise in the audience, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to keep talking about the play, and in our next segment on the show today, to our audience, we will have 2 of the actors in studio, and one of them is your son.
Yes.
And the other one is a good friend to the family that has been working with you in your entertainment group.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Okay, all right. Then before we go, I want to take a few minutes and step away from the theater piece for a second to just talk community activism.
Oh, definitely.
People need to understand, I think, that they can be a Lisa Hopkins. They can come out to community meetings, take notes, question our elected officials and other powers that be when they come into our community saying they're going to do something. A perfect example in my head, I think, would be the Queen Lane Apartments. The old PHA property that was there. I was there the day it was imploded and came down. And I know you were too. I know you were out there. But even before the implosion took place, there was lots of discussions, some of them heated, a lot of different opinions. Is this good? Is this bad? I think it was past time, personally, to bring down the old PHA towers that were the Queen Lane Towers.
Right.
I think it was time for them to go and to give folk another opportunity at a different lifestyle, under a different setting. And so we see it happening now. But how do you, as a community leader, make for sure that things are done to the best of their ability in the right way when projects like this come up in our community?
I started off as a block captain on the 500 block of West Queen Lane in Germantown. And a lot of our neighbors and our constituents were very concerned about the blight, the violence, the drug activity occurring in the Queen Lane Towers. But more importantly, we discovered, Northwest Neighbors of Germantown, which is my community organization, that there was a potter's field buried there since 1755 underneath the Queen Lane Tower. Had been desecrated.
Since 1755. And it's now the year 2015, so this is an old graveyard.
Yes.
And back in the day, they used to call old graveyards Potter's Field. And
Yes.
well, poor people's graveyards.
Right, exactly.
Potter's Fields. Yeah.
So PHA held a public meeting back in November 2010 saying they were going to knock the tower down, implode it, and rebuild. And we said, oh, no, you're not. I said, there are ancestors that are buried there, never got their recognition or were able to properly lay at rest. And we need to do an excavation or archaeological dig and find out what's there. And if we decide to allow you to build, we want that area, green space, preserved, and then a historical marker so that we can acknowledge our ancestors that never were really recognized. So it was a 4-year fight,
Right.
going to meetings every week, every month, and finally January 5th, 2012, PHA declared in writing that they would not desecrate that area and leave it as a green open space.
Okay. So now the ultimate decision, bottom line, will there be some kind of a plaque put there eventually or something to
Yes,
acknowledge
they're going to
the
have a
ancestors?
historical marker. They're going to leave it gated because we don't want, animals or people to, put their cigarette butts out on it, because that's the only part of Germantown where us as African Americans can really rely on our history. So we're fighting every way to keep it preserved, to keep it protected, and then to have it recognized by a Pennsylvania historical marker.
Right. So next thing is this. You can never please all of the people all of the time.
Right.
If there had been 5,000 great plans for what would happen at Queen Lane and Pulaski Avenue, there would have been somebody who would have said, I don't like that idea. So there's always somebody who's not going to like it, or some small group of people who aren't going to
Right.
like something. But again, I believe, and I live in this community too, so I'm not just talking off the top of my head, even though I haven't had the kind of years you've had. I think 21 years is kind of significant. And we want our community to be as beautiful as possible. And in my head, whether you are low income, middle income, or filthy rich, we all deserve to live in housing that is pleasing to the eye and looks good. And then it's our responsibility to take care of it.
Exactly.
And so the next step, we see it's building, it's coming along quickly now. Things are getting kind of exciting as we're watching these things happen as this
Right.
building comes up. How much longer before you think they will be finished and starting to take applications for people to live there?
They actually started applications last week
Okay.
from October 5th through the
Okay.
9th. It's 55 units. It's going to be 2 to 3 stories, like duplexes and triplexes for families, and also the elderly and people that need extra help being physically
Yes,
handicapped.
yes.
But they're talking about the completion by December 9th of this year. So it's going up really
That's
fast.
coming really fast.
Now, there was a setback, though. There was an organization called Friends of Wissahickon Playground, because the actual acres, it's 2 acres of that whole area, but there was a playground, and even though that playground stood on top of Potter's Field, there were groups that said that we want our playground back because it was transferred over to PHA. So we met with Councilwoman Cindy Bass every week since May up until September to try to find locations of, vacant lots to restore the Wissahickon Playground. There's presently a lawsuit that Greg Palmier, our ward leader, has filed against PHA and the city. So that actual hearing is coming up Wednesday, October 15th, 10 a.m., courtroom 682. so that we can make sure that the playground is restored so that the children in our community can have a recreational outlet.
Right. Well, I'm praying for everything to go well all the way around the board, and not to knock anybody for wanting to speak up for our community. That's fine and one thing. But I do believe that there's opportunities and times for a lot of the speaking to have been done, to be said, opinions on what you want or don't want. I'm one of the people that missed the boat. I attended like all of 3 meetings, I think. There were 100 meetings if there was one. So what is 3 meetings? Nothing. So how dare I come up now that the boat has left the dock, the train has left the station, and I want to complain? No, go sit down. Go sit down. I'm saying that for myself. You know, people like you who were there on the front lines every time, every meeting, you're the ones that deserve to be heard most of all, in my opinion. That's just Thera speaking. But anyway, I want to thank you for coming in and whetting our appetite. We've got some young folks who are coming up in the next segment, and they better do a lot of talking. They better not get up here and get shy with me, because we're going to have some time for them to tell their story and what they're doing with this play. The play, again, is called
Legacy.
And it's going to be seen on October the 25th. That's a Sunday at
African American History Museum, 701 Arch Street, 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Please get your tickets. You're going to be entertained, you're going to be educated and enlightened. And you can pick up the tickets at www.childhoodlostentertainmentgroup.com.
That's what's
and
up.
there's a S after Childhood's Lost.
All righty. Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
you
Thera,
so
so
very
much.
much. That's Lisa Hopkins. Don't forget her name. She'll be back again with us on another show, because she's always doing good work, good things in our community. This is News You Can Use. Guess what? We'll be back in just a moment.
Today, a new creature walks among us, terrorizing innocent citizens. Until this threat can be contained, we must all be on the lookout for the dreaded digital Deadwalkers.
Dude!
They're not looking out for you.
Engage!
A public service safety message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected with strong, healthy bones.
He's following me. He knows where my next class is.
"31% of female victims stalked by an intimate partner were sexually assaulted by that partner. For more help, visit www.victimsofcrime.org.
When you're dying, what will it be like? You think you may know until you see what hospice can do. Expert loving care that enables more cherished moments, more smiles, maybe one more dance. Turns out when you're dying, there's more living to do. These families discovered what hospice is. See what's possible at momentsoflife.org.
Hello, everybody, and we are back with this edition of News You Can Use. And there is some news that you can use. It's all about a play called Legacy. Legacy comes to Philadelphia on Sunday, October the 25th of 2015. It's going to be at the African American Museum in Philadelphia at 701 Arch Street, downtown Philadelphia. We're excited about it, and I have two of the actors here on set with me. In our first segment to our viewing audience, we had Mama Bear on, and she's Lisa Hopkins, the mother to Jerron. And we are glad to have you with us, glad to have you with us as well. Justin Booker is who is sitting right by my side, a student at Northeast High School. And then we have Jerron Elijah Hopkins, who's at the Jinx Middle School or elementary school?
It's both.
Okay, well, I'm glad to have you gentlemen with me. And the funny thing is, you guys did not know earlier today you were going to be on a cable TV show, did you?
No.
And I didn't know earlier today that I was going to have young people on my cable TV show. And then the other crazy thing for me is that I have a grandson who is 10 years old. His name is Noah Esau Martin. Hi, Noah, because I make him watch this show with me sometimes. And he asked me today, can I come on your show? And I said, well, what do you do? Like, can you sing? What are you going to bring me? I mean, you got to have something. You can't just come on the show and sit on the set. And he said, well, so I said, well, next time. So he's going to work on it. But meanwhile, you young men do something. You're actors. That's pretty cool. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Booker. Tell me about this acting thing for you. When did the bug first bite?
Well, I've started acting. I've been acting for about 7 years. I started when I was in my church, Deliverance Evangelistic Church. Yes.
My church. I mean, it's not my home church, but I love your church.
It's a great church,
yes.
And I started there. Me and my mom were in the drama group and the drama ministry, and we've been working there for a while. And then after that, I got out of acting. I joined the Philadelphia Boys Choir for about 5 years, and I did 2 tours with them. I went to it was a Wild West tour. We went over on the west coast of the U.S. And then we went to Europe. We went to the Baltic states in Europe.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, I wish that when I was your age, I had those opportunities to travel that young. I didn't do international travel until I was in my 30s. And the very, very sad part for me is that when I was in junior high school, I had foreign language at Angela Domini Academy for Girls, which was just down the street from LaSalle University. In high school, I had foreign language, hated it, and didn't take it seriously. And nobody in my family sat me down and said to me, Thera, one day you might have an opportunity to travel to Europe or to other parts of the world, and a foreign language can really come in helpful. Nobody told me that. And I had a bad attitude about learning foreign languages because I was like, I'm not going to need this stuff. Stupid as a doorknob, dumb. And nobody told me. Nobody in my family sat me down and said, learn it, it's important. So I used to do, young people out there, do not do like me. I used to do just enough to get a passing grade in my foreign language classes. I just refused to put my heart and soul into learning French or Spanish, Espanol, the 2 languages I had an opportunity to learn. Not smart on my part. So then when I came grown up and became a radio broadcaster, I'm traveling to Brazil, I'm traveling to different parts of Africa, I'm traveling to the islands on behalf of my job for my radio station, broadcasting live in these different parts of the world and really struggling to be able to communicate with other people because I didn't do so well in foreign languages. So I first want to give that advice to you 2 young men, study your foreign language, absolutely. But so you decided you liked acting, got into it, and 7 years now you've been doing this thing.
Yeah.
How did you get with this play, Legacy?
Well, I've been working with Commissella Group for about, I would say 1.5 years. Yeah, and I was working with Miss Lisa Hopkins as the artistic director, and she actually informed me that Jaron was doing a play with Legacy, and I was like, okay, can I be in it? And once I got to the reading for the play, I realized that the writer and the director for the play was actually my old school teacher, which was the lady how I got to know Miss Lisa. So
everything comes full
circle. Yeah, everything. It was a small world in that case, and I got to know her a lot better than I did when I was in school. So yeah,
That's
we've
good.
been working with her for about 4 months now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
around that time.
Now, Jerron, so this acting thing, now be honest, did your mom drag you into this acting thing, or was it something you wanted to do too?
Well, actually, it first started off where she had a program in Roosevelt, right? And so I was like, Mom, I think I want to do this. And then I ended up joining the program in Roosevelt, and then she started doing plays for different schools such as Roosevelt, John B. Kelly, and so on.
Wow. Now, have you been on stage doing plays, or is this going to be your first one where you're actually in a starring role?
No, I've been in many plays. I've been
Check
in
you out.
The Lion King. I've also been in The Wiz in the Hood,
yeah.
Spinderella.
Okay, you've been working it. You've been working it, in other words. Do you ever get nervous when you go out on stage?
Well, when I had my first play, I got extremely nervous, but now as you fade in and you get used to it, and so
You remember your lines and all of that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I can remember doing plays in junior high, high school, and in college. And I think probably, opening night, those first few nights, I was more nervous than after I did it a few times, and I was like, I got this thing down, right? But even for today, and not being an actor, not being an actress, not being in plays, but even often asked to be a mistress of ceremonies at events. And if I look out in the audience and I see 500, 1,000 people or more, I have a few moments of fluttering. And then I put on my acting hat. I'm like, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna kill it. You're not gonna flip over any words. You're gonna be smooth, and you're gonna do your thing, and you're gonna represent well, and you're gonna feel great at the end of the night. And then I go out and I kill it, and that's how I do it. But yeah, I do get my moments of fluttery heart and stomach and all of that just before I step out on stage. Particularly, the larger the audience, the more nervous I just might get. But I get it together. I get it together because I minored in theater in college, and I will never forget the instructors I had at Marquette University and here at LaSalle University to teach me all the skills that I have today. Now, can you give us a quick monologue before we run out of time? Show us something from the play, To Whet Our Appetite.
Okay. This is from the beginning of the play, the opening.
Legacy.
Legacy. Whatever, Mom. Whatever. Man, them teachers ain't teaching me nothing anyway. Why I need math, English, or science? Matter of fact, might even become one of them stunt cats to take the fall on those multi-million-dollar films. Yeah, but no school is gonna have me spend any more wasted time listening to that crap, not learning nothing anyway. Good hike as it is to get to the joint since the nearest public school is in Timbuktu. Shutting us down, mama. It's shutting us out. Charter schools, set up the failed schools. That's what they should call them. I'm just saying. Man, ain't nothing wrong with starting off slow. Man, I'ma chill for a couple years and then head out to Cali for the big time. Maybe after all that fun and sun, possibly get my GED or papers to be a barber or something. But man, ain't no teacher gonna have me spend any more wasted time listening to that crap.
Wow, monologue down. Go ahead, my brother. You did that well. That is your teaser to go see this play called Legacy. It's going to be on Sunday, October 25th at the African American Museum, 701 Art Street. A great, great play, real positive with a strong message for our young people. You got to do more than just depending on your good looks and talent to get by. You need some education. That's what you need. That wraps it up for this edition of News You Can Use. Thank you, young man. Thank you, young man. And thank you, Lisa Hopkins. We love you for bringing this great show our way. That's it for this edition of News You Can Use. Have a great day. Remember, life is fragile. Handle it with grace.